Hello everyone, welcome to Jets TV. Please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos as well, folks. I want to thank everyone who does watch and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, without further ado, football is here, okay? It is playoff time. I am excited. I'm beside myself. I'm ready to talk about it. Jets not in the playoffs, but I'll fill you guys in on what I'm going to do. My Jets fans that are watching, we're going to talk about the Jets this week. Within my system for the games here, but I'm going to fill you guys in a little bit later because guess what? I'm going to talk about my Week 17 recap. I'm not going to hide those picks from you guys. I'm not going to skip over them. Nothing. Okay? We're still going to go over the games that I picked. So let's go ahead and get right into my Week 17 recap of my picks. First game that I covered from Week 17, Jags at Texans. Took the Texans in this football game, and I got myself a W. Texans beat the Jags 20-3. 20-3, man. Shout out to Texans fans. You guys got yourselves a win, and you continue moving on into the playoffs. I took the Texans as well, and I got myself a W as well. Next game I covered from Week 17, Colts at Titans. Took the Colts in this football game confidently, and I got myself a win. Colts beat the Titans 33-17. Man, hey, Colts fans, I know you guys are excited. You're in the playoffs as well. So shout out to Colts fans. You guys got yourselves a W. I took the Colts as well, and I got myself a W as well. And last but not least, the last game of the week, the Jets game, Jets at Patriots. Took the Patriots in this game. Sadly, I got myself a W. Patriots beat the Jets 38-3. Whew, man, listen. It is what it is. Sam still looks solid out there. He made some solid throws. After the game, Todd Bowles was relieved of his duties, a couple hours later. It is what it is. I'm ready to move forward, but I'm extremely excited about the future with this football team because we have Sam Darnold. He continues to show that he's the goods. He continues to show that he has ability, and that's all I can ask for out of this season. So shout out to Patriots fans. You guys got yourselves a W. I took the Patriots, and sadly, again, I got myself a W as well. So now it's time to talk about the wild card. Okay, look, Week 17, that is done. That is behind us. That is over. Regular season finished. Don't want to talk about it no more. Okay, it's over. I'm ready to talk about the wild card games that we have coming up. And I know Jets fans are watching me. They're saying, hey, we're not in the playoffs. What are you going to do? Listen, I'm going to pick 2 games from this playoff, from this wild card round. 2 games. And then my third segment is going to be Jet Talk. I'm going to talk about the Jets, whether it be positional needs or coaching or whatever. I'm going to talk about the Jets on a weekly basis on the show. So that's what I'm going to do throughout the playoffs. I'm going to talk about 2 games from the playoffs, and then we're going to do some Jet Talk as my last segment. So that's what we're going to do. So listen, it's time to talk about the wild card round. I'm excited. I want to talk about some picks that I have. So let's go ahead and get into my wild card round picks, all right? First game I want to cover from the wild card round, Seahawks at Cowboys. Whew, man, listen, this is one brewing right here. I'm going to go to the Seahawks side of the football first. Sweezy, left guard, questionable. He's a game-time decision. This guy's dealing with an injury, didn't practice Thursday. Things are not looking so good, okay? That is a problem because the Seahawks have had issues in the past protecting Russell Wilson behind this offensive line. Sweezy is one of their better guards. If he's not playing, you've had guys like Ifedi, Brown, Britt really struggle at times keeping Wilson upright. And I'm worried about him in this football game because the Cowboys have a very solid front. And they've got a guy in Lawrence that gets after it. He's not playing no games. They move him around. Sometimes he's in the interior. Other times he's on, the outside at the defensive end spot, which is where he naturally usually plays. But man, he is a complete beast. And if your line has issues, you're going to have a long day dealing with him because he will absolutely take your quarterback's head off, no questions asked. You look at the defense for the Seahawks, which I think is definitely going to be challenged in this football game. I think their number one issue that they have to control is Ezekiel Elliott. They cannot let this dude go off. They can't let that happen. He cannot have 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, whatever. That cannot happen. They're going to have to find some way to corral him, slow him down. The backers have to get after it. Wagner, Wright, you guys have got to absolutely corral this guy. He cannot have a day. And you've got to put the ball in Dak's hands and say, hey, Dak, you're going to be the guy to beat us. Point blank, period. If you allow Zeke to go off and just run to daylight and do whatever he wants to do out there, Dak is going to have a field day because everything just opens up after that. That's how their offense literally runs. Is Zeke's got to get going. Once Zeke gets going, Dak just starts, boom, punching, and he finds guys right behind Zeke, and it's just an absolute issue. You look at the Cowboys side of the football, and the first thing I'm looking at the Cowboys defense, and I'm saying, hey, don't over pursue in this football game. We all know that Wilson, this offensive line may struggle against you guys, but if you give up your lane and you over pursue on Wilson and you get past him and he sees daylight, this guy uses his feet extremely well. He's done that his entire career in NFL. He's got a great arm. He's very aware. He keeps his eyes down the field when he does run, which makes him even more deadly because he doesn't necessarily give himself up as a thrower until he has to. So he can extend plays using his feet and throwing the football, or he can bring the football down and get going and move the chains as well and convert that for first down. So you got to watch yourself when you're dealing with Russell Wilson. You got to find a way that if you go after him, bring him down, corral him. If you maybe you keep a spy on him or something, but don't let this guy get active, moving around in that pocket, finding space and taking off. You cannot have that. You look at the offensive side for the Cowboys, and I'm saying to myself, they're going to have a plan to get Zeke out of there for him to not have a big game. So I'm looking at the situation like, hey, Amari Cooper, this is a guy that's come in, been very productive. He was a guy that, a lot of people laughed at Jerry Jones for what he gave up to get him. But, I mean, damn, he has made quite a bit of a difference in this Dallas Cowboys offense. He's really legitimized them. He's their number one target. He's doing his thing. I want to see how they handle getting him the football because, the Seahawks are definitely going to try to bracket him and double him. But I think if they do that, then guys behind Amari Cooper like Gallup, Beasley, Hearns, a guy that we really have not heard about much this season, Allen Hearns, I know he's on the roster, right? I think this is a game where he could be very useful because I think he's one hell of a wide receiver. And I think he's going to find a lot of favorable matchups. Him and Beasley in particular, I think will definitely have their chance to be extremely productive that day against the Seahawks. So with all that said, cautiously, optimistically, I am taking the Cowboys to win this football game. Again, cautiously. I know a lot of people don't have faith in the Cowboys. I get it. They've made some mistakes in the past. But I am taking the Cowboys to win this football game 28-20. 28-20, I'm taking the Cowboys. I think Amari Cooper has a decent day, but like I said, I think Gallup, Beasley, and Hearns really have solid days behind them. So again, I am taking the Dallas Cowboys to win that football game. So next game I want to cover, second game from the wild card round, man. Chargers at Ravens. Whew, listen, man. Baltimore, phenomenal defense. We're not even going to question that. Number one defense in the league. They can get after you, force you into bad situations. The scheme is outrageously good. Like, they're just doing their thing up there. There's just no doubt in my mind that this defense is absolutely legit. My question for the Baltimore Ravens, point blank period, is can this offense continue to do what they've been doing and win? This offense they run a lot. I mean, it's crazy. It's like they're like Army or Navy. They just run a lot. Like they do all types of crazy stuff. Whether it be QB options, a lot of handoff to the backs, a lot of crazy stuff. And I think a lot of this is to kind of protect Lamar Jackson. I like Lamar Jackson a lot. I think he's extremely dynamic. He's crazy athletic. Like the guy, it's just wild how athletically gifted he is. But his arm hasn't yet matured, and I think you see that throughout the games when you watch him. He's very inaccurate at times. He's very up and down, very streaky. There's times when he'll put the ball on guys, and then there's other times where it's like the ball's in the dirt, it's behind them, it's in front of them, it's a turnover, something like that. And so I think they've really started to, or what they've really done with him is they find ways for him to be able to run the football, to really kind of get things going and get the chains moving. But I don't think that's going to work against the Chargers because they got some guys up front that are just not going to let that happen. You're not going to continue to pound the rock at them. So they've got to find some way for Lamar Jackson to win from the pocket. This kid's got to step up. He's got to be able to throw the ball because, you look at the situation, you put him, in long passing downs, that 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, that's where he really struggles. And then before you know it, it's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And the Ravens are punting during games when the offense really should be getting going because, again, this Ravens defense, gives them the ball quite a bit because they're so tough. So that's my one question for the Ravens is, can this offense produce? Can they keep doing this and really get by, kind of grinding out games where they're doing just absolutely running the football, trying to bludgeon people to death? You look at the Chargers in this football game. My first question for the Chargers is, hey, is this offense going to get it together in this game against the Ravens? They played the Ravens earlier in the season, and they did not look good at all. And I know the Ravens, great defense, they're number one defense, but man, the Chargers look terrible. I mean, there was a lot of turnovers. Phillip Rivers had 2 interceptions himself. I think he only threw for like 180 yards in that game. They just did not look good, and they didn't protect the football very well either. So I'm looking at this meeting with the Ravens. Are you going to get in there and get it together? I want to see a lot of Melvin Gordon. I think establishing the run game, particularly with him, is going to be monumental in this game. And also getting him out of the backfield, because he does that, catching the football, just getting him thoroughly involved. I know he's kind of been struggling with that injury he had. He's kind of getting himself back together. But he's got to be a big part of this game, too. Him, Keenan Allen, those guys have got to put it together. So that's my question for the Chargers is, hey, can you guys kind of clean up the issues that you were having offensively, late in the season? So with all that said, I am taking the Chargers to win this football game 21-17. 21-17, I'm taking the Chargers. I think they do just enough. Again, I don't think this thing with Jackson, this just constantly running. I don't think that's going to work here. I think the Chargers have seen it. They've been there, done that, and they're not going to let that beat them this game. So again, I am taking the Chargers to win this football game. Last but not least, the best team of the week, at least in my heart. All right, the Jets. It's time for some Jet talk, guys. Come on. Gotta laugh, clap it up. We not in the playoffs. Get over it. You know what I'm saying? I got a smile on my face. You need to put a smile on yours. All right, listen. In this Jet talk, I want to talk about coaching, man. I want to talk about coaching. I want to talk about, the big vacancy that we have right now, currently. We don't have a head coach right now. Todd Bowles exited stage left. And now we're trying to find a guy that's going to continue to lead this football team and take us where we need to go. There's a lot of names out there, all right? A lot of names. Mike McCarthy, my favorite. That's my number one choice. I know a lot of people have different opinions, whatever. I get it. But that's my number one guy right now. Proven track record. A guy that has been there, has done it. I know a lot of people kind of question his play calling, yada, yada. I think that, a lot of that is just, people having questions about, can he still do it in this league? And I don't think there's a question. I think that maybe a fresh environment, also him possibly bringing in, maybe another young offensive coordinator, young offensive mind, here with him as well. If he were to get the job in with the Jets, that could also be a great benefit to him too. But I think he still can call plays solidly at this level. And I think that he's still a very solid head coach, a very, solid head coaching candidate. Other names that are out there, Adam Gase, don't want to have anything to do with him at all, but his name is still out there. Cliff Kingsbury, a lot of people are very excited about him. Matt Rule, people are extremely excited about him as well. I see why. And also Monken. Monken is out there too. So there's a lot of names. But for me, I think the one thing that we have to keep in mind here is whoever is going to come in here, they need to have a very solid plan to continue to grow and mature Sam Darnold. That's first and foremost. We need to know that this guy knows what he's doing and has something in place to make sure that this young QB continues to ascend in this league. We also need to know that the guy that's coming in here is ready to take this group of young players and hold them accountable for things. You know, make sure that he comes in with, you know, a hard-working mentality, that he's going to make sure that he sets a standard here, and that these players are going to continue to follow it, and that nobody's going to, you know, buck the system and do all this crazy stuff, and veterans have priority. No. This guy's going to come in and say, hey, you're going to work for everything that you get, you know, and he's going to instill that toughness, you know, that kind of toughness that they have in Pittsburgh, where it's like, you know, we play hard, we practice hard, we do everything hard, and then when we get out there and we play, dude, you're done. You know, we're tough. You want to see a coach kind of bring that in here, that fire. You want to see a guy, you know, bring in just that don't quit mentality. You know, we're just going to get after people constantly. That's what I want to see. Me personally, I know a lot of Jets fans have, you know, their own thoughts and opinions on whether a defensive guy should be. To me, an offensive guy all the way. I am ready to have an offensive-minded head coach come in here. This is an offensive league. This is a league where the rules are literally slanted to benefit the offense. If you touch a wide receiver after a couple yards, that is a flag. If you breathe on a quarterback wrong, that is a flag. I mean, there's so many things that you could get a flag for. Just, I mean, if you just look at the offense wrong, if you're on defense, that's a flag. They'll call you for something. We've got to bring a guy in here to take advantage of those things. And we've seen, you know, throughout the league where you have a lot of great offensive minds that are succeeding in this league, even if their defenses aren't playing very well at all. They're still able to get themselves into playoffs or have very strong seasons. So we've got to do something like that. I think a very underrated part of this as well, though, is if we do bring in an offensive mind, we've got to make sure that he can bring in a guy that is also, you know, a very solid defensive coordinator. We also got to make sure that the scheme that he brings in also fits the players that we have here. You know, we're currently running a 3-4. We run, you know, multiple fronts here and there, but I think most of our players fit a 3-4 system better than anything else. If you bring in a guy that runs a 4-3, you're going to have some issues, because that means that we're going to be getting rid of some players, because we got guys here that do not fit a 4-3 scheme. So we've got to see, you know, on the defensive side, what kind of coordinator he's going to bring in, what kind of defense a guy wants to run. But again, I want an offensive mind here first and foremost. That's what I would feel most comfortable with, a guy that's going to come in and really get our offense revving and going and really have us putting up points. So with all that said, folks, I want to thank you folks for watching. Again, please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos as well. I want to thank you folks for watching and sharing my videos. You folks are the absolute best, man. So football's here, time's here. Enjoy your times with your family. Sit down, favorite beverage, favorite food. Enjoy yourselves and watch some good football. Happy New Year's to you folks. And you have a good day. Peace.